guys, so the day is here. My doctoral defense is today, so I have a lot of jitters, and we are en route to drop Bryce off at his godmother's house, who's gonna watch him. I really wanted Brian's support with me, so he's here.
Hey guys.
I'm just recording some clips so that I can look back on them later. Bryce can look at them when he gets a little older. You know, some family friends that weren't able to experience this, who have sent their thoughts and prayers with me, can also be able to see this. So I'm very nervous. I'm confident in my research. Whoop, road is bumpy. I'm confident in my research, but I'm gonna have jitters because this time is very important to me, this moment, and I'm gonna sit in front of other doctors in my field that I hope also understand the importance of my research. So we'll keep you guys posted. We'll try to take out the phone and record some clips of my opening remarks. So hopefully next time I come up here, I will be Dr. Forrester. And thanks to everyone who have sent me kind words and thoughts and prayers. I really do appreciate it. It's kept me going. And until next time, I'm gonna enjoy some peace and quiet and rest my mind until we get in there. All right, bye guys. Of course, we're really early, so we're waiting for everyone to get here. So it's about to go down, guys. Always had a very strong interest in education and educational equity. My mom was very engaged in early childhood education, so throughout my childhood, well into my high school years, she went from being a daycare provider, and some years she even had her own preschool. So that let me really understand how education gaps can start really early on in a child's life. So my first position outside of college was one of direct service. And so within this direct service position, I was a program coordinator for a home visiting program, and that home visiting program operated in Ward 7 and 8 in Southeast DC. And the purpose of that program was to target families who had children in between the ages of 2 and 4 years old. And we would go to their homes on a weekly basis with toys and books to teach different learning and teaching strategies, such as learning through play, how to picture read, and just emphasizing the importance of literacy at a very young age. So some time passed and the funding for this program got cut. I was really upset by this. I did not understand how a program that was showing clear benefits for the community we were serving could be cut. So I wanted to find out how I can impact that. How can I impact education funding? So I realized in order to do that, I needed to pursue a career in education policy, so I did just that. So my first position in education policy was in a state that was among one of the highest achieving academically nationwide. However, 2 large districts in that state were failing to educate their children year after year. And it just so happened that those 2 districts were overwhelmingly minority students and low-income students. So again, I was upset. I wanted to know why. So within that first policy job, I spent a lot of time learning about the inequities and disparities in education as it relates to resource allocation, accountability, subgroup achievement, as well as school discipline. Also within that position, I worked with my team as well as state legislators to pass legislation that would reduce the disproportionate rates of school discipline that negatively impact Black boys, sorry. So after that position, I decided to expand my education policy experience on the federal level. So once I started working on the federal education policy landscape, I quickly realized that some of those disparities and equities that I was accustomed to at the state that I was working in were not specific to the state. Those were national trends. So across the nation, Black males are failing. Across the nation, the discourse around Black boys in education was very negative. It was very deficit-based. It focused a lot on the obstacles, the risk, and the barriers they faced for why they were not achieving. So I wanted to know more about that. Around that time was when I entered the doctoral program here at GW. So upon my inception at the program, I already knew that I wanted my research to focus on improving education for Black males. And I knew more specifically I wanted it to focus on reclaiming that narrative around Black boys in education. Through my personal experiences, through my undergrad, college career, I knew that there were so many Black boys that yes, they did come from obstacles and they did have to overcome, you know, barriers, and they did have a lot of risk associated with their achievement, but they were still achieving. So I wanted to know more about how we can expand this for more Black boys. So throughout my career and also in my studies, I played a particular focus on making sure that I could further develop my knowledge in that arena. So I would make sure that I would attend conferences that were talking about the subject matter. In some cases I presented at those conferences. In some cases it was for professional presentation. Sometimes it was a personal presentation talking about my interests and my passions. I applied for the Risk and Resilience Fellowship here at GW that was led by Dr. Howard as well as Dr. Travis Wright. And I also sought out national experts in the area, in the topic area, and I would talk to them and learn more about the subject matter. Around the time I had my son, so that did nothing but fuel my passion even more around the topic area, because I know it may be a surprise, but he's a Black boy. So I wanted to make sure that anything in my career focused on school turnaround, educational achievement, subgroup accountability, and school discipline. I also at that time were in my career were coming across many models of success around how they were educating Black boys. So I wanted to know what was going on there. So speaking with these school leaders, they made it very apparent that in order to change the trajectory for Black boys in education, there had to be a clear, positive vision that was set, and everyone engaged in those Black boys' lives had to be latched onto that vision. So that's when I knew that I wanted my research to focus on a school leader, because they are responsible, essentially, for setting that vision in their school. Through also speaking with those school leaders more, and through my own research and reading, I realized that a lot of those models for success were either in a charter school setting or they were in a community-based program setting. And so I wanted to know how we can take lessons learned from these programs into a broader education setting for Black males. So at that point, I knew that I wanted my research to focus in a traditional public school setting, with the understanding that yes, charter schools are technically public schools. However, they do have a certain amount of flexibility and autonomy that traditional public schools do not have. And I wanted to make sure that my findings were going to be replicable outside of a charter school or community-based setting. So just a mixture of those things I just discussed is what led me to want to pursue this research, and more specifically wanted to find out the impact school leaders have in cultivating academic resilience in low-performing Black male students.
Thank you for that.
Okay, guys, so how long was that? An hour and a half? And so now we're waiting for them to come out. They're deliberating. What time is it?
2 o'clock.
They've been deliberating for 30 minutes now, so hopefully they'll come out soon with good news, and we'll keep you guys posted. All right.
You need also.
Thank you. Thank you.
Wonderful.
Dr. Forrester.
Oh my goodness.
Dr. Forrester.
Nice to meet y'all. Thank you.